I'm not a good guy. I'm not a bad guy. But I'll tell you what I am. Is the number one fucking podcast right here on YouTube.com for everything WWE. This is Off the Script, episode 115, part number 3 for your Payback Sunday, tonight, live on the WWE Network, man. All of our questions will be answered tonight. Will Finn Balor be there? Will Natalya beat Charlotte? Will the Bullet Club turn on AJ Styles? What's going to happen with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens? Will Ryback completely bury and have a funeral for the United States Championship? All these questions will be answered tonight, live on the WWE Network, man. But thank you guys so much for joining me. I know Off the Script is a little late this morning. I had a lot to do last night. I wanted to get the iTunes podcast up, and I actually had the show half recorded. I said, you know what, fuck this shit. I had a little bit of energy in me, and I recorded a whole 2-hour fucking podcast last night. So I dedicated my time last night to do that, and that is now live on iTunes, PodBean, Stitcher Radio, and AudioBoom. I'm still waiting for verification on Google Play Podcast, Google Play Music. So we're going to have 5 different places where you can listen to that podcast. If you missed it, links are down below. Make sure you guys check that out at some point this week. I will be uploading my review for Payback on iTunes sometime on Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm going to get that up, and we're going to discuss that. And obviously, after the pay-per-view tonight, I'm going to be reviewing the show right here on YouTube.com. Make sure you guys tune into that. Don't go anywhere, man. The official Payback review tonight, as soon as the pay-per-view goes off the air. I was just notified of this. I had no idea Wrestle Rumble was doing this, but WrestleRumble.com is doing a Payback Pick'em. So if you guys want to win some money tonight, and you want to put your knowledge to the test, if you think you know what's going to happen at Payback tonight, WrestleRumble.com. I'm going to leave you that info down in the comments section. WrestleRumble.com. Gain entry or buy your entry to this pool, and you'll be involved in a pick'em. If you get the most points out of everybody that's involved, you're going to win cash money. So, WrestleRumble.com, and I'll leave you that Twitter account as well. Tell them that JD from NY sent you over there if you guys are going to be in it. I'm not sure I'm doing it tonight because, you know, it's a little too late, but we'll see what happens, man. But if you guys want to win some money, please go ahead and do it. WrestleRumble.com, the Payback 2016 Pick'em contest. So, make sure you guys go check that out. ProWrestlingTees.com. Get your official merchandise for this very show. ProWrestlingTees.com/OffTheScript. On Twitter, at JD from NY206. And on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, man. With Payback tonight, we should eclipse 49,000 subscribers, man. And then we are 1,000 away from the elusive 50,000. And then from there, it's a whole new ball game, man. On our way to 100,000 subscribers, man. It's going to be fucking awesome. Unbelievable. Now, let's get into the news, guys. Also, quick reminder, I did upload several videos over the last couple of days, man. News articles and rumors that you're not going to hear on Off the Script. Completely dedicated to Payback 2016. Something on the biggest rumors going into the pay-per-view. Vince McMahon possibly announcing a brand split on the pay-per-view tonight. AJ Styles not going to be aligning himself with the Bullet Club. All that stuff, man. I'll leave you an annotation on screen, and I'll leave you video links down in the description below. Make sure you guys go check them out before you watch the pay-per-view tonight, and let me know what you're thinking about that. But as far as Off the Script goes, I have several news articles, and the biggest one being Wargames. We're going to talk about that in a second. I want to get these minor stories out of the way first before we talk about Wargames. Bayley... Everybody tweeted me. Everybody was commenting to me. Bayley's injured at the NXT tapings, where we seen Eric Young debut. The injury was a complete rumor. Nobody knew what was going on. News about it today. It was all part of an angle that WWE was filming for Bayley. This week, there was a report going around with several sources that former NXT Women's Champion Bayley potentially went down with a leg injury The report stated that that during a reversal from a suplex by Nia Jax, Bayley's knee went out and buckled, and I use that term loosely, buckled, and she had to be carried off by trainers after several more minutes of working the match. The rumor that made the rounds was that Bayley went down with an injury, but it's now being reported that this is not the case. According to DWN, DailyWrestlingNews.com, Bayley was not injured at all, and the injury was an angle for a potential storyline. Even the trainer that helped her at ringside was actually an indie wrestler hired for the role. There is no more information about this angle at the time, or what NXT has planned for Bayley in the near future, but it's possible that this angle could lead to the next chapter of her career after losing the NXT Women's Championship to Asuka at TakeOver Dallas a few weeks ago. The current expectation is that Bayley will make her full transition to WWE's main roster at some point this summer. Of course, those plans can always change, but if there's a unique injury angle being planned for her, we're going to have to wait a few weeks to see it unfold on NXT programming to actually judge it. So Bayley is not hurt. Thank God we don't need any more injuries in WWE. I still think we will see Bayley on the main roster before the end of 2016, probably after SummerSlam. That's what I'm guessing. And I'm also guessing that with NXT TakeOver announced in June at Full Sail University, we got Samoa Joe versus Finn Balor. And I think we're going to get a rematch with Bayley versus Asuka, or maybe a triple threat match. Maybe a triple threat match here with Nia Jax, Bayley, and Asuka. And we're going to see Bayley and Asuka maybe at TakeOver Brooklyn. So I don't know what's going on, man. You know, they're probably lining Nia Jax up for a title push. You know, they want to get somebody else, you know, moving on down the line if Bayley is going to really move up to the main roster. You know, WWE doesn't have another force in the women's division down there besides Bayley and Asuka as of yet. So they got to start grooming the next in line. Possibly, we might see Nia Jax, Bayley, and Asuka in a triple threat match at the next TakeOver special. And then Asuka versus Bayley 2 at TakeOver Brooklyn. Maybe that's what WWE's planning. I'm not sure. But all we know is that Bayley's not injured. She was part of an angle that was filmed at the next NXT TakeOver. Oh, at the next tapings for NXT TakeOver. I'm sorry. Moving on here with the news, guys. New respect for Adam Rose after statements on his WWE suspension. A little over a week ago, Adam Rose was suspended for his second violation of WWE's wellness policy. Per the rules, Adam Rose will be out of action and will sit on the bench. Yes, that's what it says. He's benched for 60 days. He's been replaced on the Social Outcasts by the Ascension's Victor after Connor was suspended the very same day. In a surprising turn of events, Rose posted a full statement where he essentially claimed that he didn't do anything wrong and that it was WWE who was in the wrong. Wow, Adam Rose speaking up. According to a report from DailyWrestlingNews.com, there is a lot of people within WWE who were shocked that Adam Rose had the nerve to make a statement and deny that he did anything wrong. It was surprising to them because Adam Rose has had the reputation of towing the company line. He's been a guy in the locker room that's been very hardworking and does what is told of him by the powers that be. Regarding the actual post, there are several of his peers, several of his co-workers within the company that has a lot of respect, or a lot more respect for Adam Rose after his statement, but WWE officials were not aware that Rose was planning such a response. As per the report states, Adam Rose is one of the harder working wrestlers in the company and generally does what he's told and never questions authority. Never had Rose been known to be a distraction or cause any issues when it came to his role, character, direction, or otherwise. Clearly, the result of the suspension is because of the failed drug test, and that lit a fire under him and required him to vent and be heard. And as for one half of the Ascension, Connor's failed drug test did not come as a result of taking anything illegal. That will be interesting to keep an eye on as to what supplement triggered the positive test, but so far Connor has kept quiet and is serving his time. It's probably his only move considering how another strike would likely mean the end of his run with the company, and not only but his partner Victor's as well. Victor is suffering just as much as Connor, seeing how unlikely it will be that he appears on television without the Ascension fully intact. The Inquisitor reported last week that WWE was toying with the idea of inserting Victor into the Social Outcasts as a temporary replacement for Adam Rose, but that appears short-lived as he only represented the group on one of the stops in the European tour. In Rose's tweet that was highlighted, he promised a follow-up that would include more information from his doctor. That has not come to light as of yet, but that too will be interesting to follow in case any member of management encourages to keep quiet or if Rose simply wants his version of the truth to be revealed. So this is very interesting that Adam Rose actually, is being described as a company guy and someone who does what he is told to do without questioning authority. So a lot of people in WWE who are his peers and his co-workers and his friends who are afraid to say anything in fears of losing their job or losing their spot in line, losing their push, they have a respect for him because he did something that they cannot do. Adam Rose is at the bottom of the barrel. What else does he have to lose but his job? He's already meaningless on WWE television. He hasn't been given anything important since his days in NXT, and even they weren't of anything important. So Adam Rose gaining a lot of respect for speaking up about something that he knows, he believes is wrongdoing. And you got to respect him just from a casual fan's point of view, or someone like you and I. We have to respect Adam Rose because this is in our nature to speak up when we know for a fact, or if we know something that's within our heart is wrong and we know it's right, we're going to speak up about it. We're going to get very, very emotional about it. And that's what Adam Rose did. I mean, it could come in any type of situation, whether it's a relationship with a loved one, whether it's something at your job, whether it's something with family. If you believe something is right, speak up about it. And that's what Adam Rose did. I have a newfound respect for Adam Rose. I had a respect for Adam Rose ever since that E60 special. I know Adam Rose is a good human being. He's a family man. He wants success not only in personal life, but in his career in WWE. The fact that he has not been given that, and the fact that WWE has just wasted a prime talent, someone who is a company guy, someone who does what he is told, why are they treating him as such? And WWE really should take a look at their wellness policy. If both Connor and Adam Rose were prescribed something from their doctors that was legal. It was legal. Both of them got banned and suspended. Both of them were suspended for 60 days for something that was not illegal. So WWE really needs to take a look at what they're doing with the wellness policy. Maybe they need to make adjustments to it. But in the end of all this, people have respect for Adam Rose for speaking up, in which those other people cannot do so. They cannot do what Adam Rose did because, they might be higher on the totem pole. They might have a more important role in the company, and they don't want to put that in jeopardy. They don't want to jeopardize their position in the company. Adam Rose, what has he got to lose but his job? I know he doesn't want to be fired, so he's speaking up about it. Listen, this is a waste of time. I did something that I felt was right. Maybe you people in WWE and the people in charge of the wellness policy, maybe you fucked up. But WWE won't admit that. So it's going to be interesting to see how this follows up from here. I mean, there's a few things that we've been reporting about Adam Rose. It's going to be interesting to see what his doctors say. We haven't heard an official word yet, but I'll keep you guys posted on whatever comes to light from Adam Rose's doctor and if he has any type of response at all. But Adam Rose, newfound respect from his peers and coworkers, man, good on him. He did something that nobody else really has the balls to do, or they're not in the position to do themselves. News on Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt quickly will be out 6 to 8 weeks instead of the rumored 4 to 6. So 6 to 8 weeks now, 2 months for Bray Wyatt. A little over a week, it was reported that Bray Wyatt is expected to be out of action until late May. However, a new report is claiming that the leader of the Wyatt family may be out a little bit longer than expected, and his recovery time for his calf injury has been extended by a few more weeks, according to WrestleZone.com. It was noted by Brian Alvarez during the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer Live that the backstage update on Wyatt's injury is that he will be out 6 to 8 weeks, when it was originally believed that his timetable would be 4 to 6. Bray Wyatt's injury occurred in a match against the WWE Champion Roman Reigns during a WWE Live event in Milan on April 18th. That would put his return date around the end of May or some point in June. Fortunately, Bray is the kind of superstar that could carry significant momentum and not be forced to wrestle. especially when he has Braun Strowman in his stable waiting for a push. That's not happening anytime soon. I don't think the Wyatt family has even fucking had anything to do on TV for this entire Payback build. I mean, what the fuck have they been doing? We've seen Bray Wyatt team with Roman Reigns, but that was about it on Monday Night Raw. But you don't want to rush Bray Wyatt back. If he's going to be out 8 weeks, so be it. Let the fucking guy recover. You're not going to miss him. He's not doing anything terribly important to the point where it's going to ruin storylines. They had nothing for the Wyatt family anyway. So the main concern for WWE is to get him at 100% so that they can build for an important summer for Bray Wyatt. Maybe he wins Money in the Bank. Maybe he has a big role in that pay-per-view. Maybe he wins the briefcase. Maybe we see him challenging for a WWE title later this year. WWE's top priority with Bray Wyatt is that, yes, he's missed on TV, but he's not missed as far as ruining storylines or the fact that they have to alter storylines. Not going to happen. Let this guy get better. And with everything happening now anyway, with the Bullet Club, with the addition of Anderson and Gallows, with this saga with Roman Reigns and Styles and Finn Balor's debut being imminent, I think Bray Wyatt is the furthest thing from everybody's mind, man. You know, so WWE has enough with all those individuals building to the point where Bray Wyatt's going to be an afterthought. You don't want to mix him in and have him feel less important. Have him sit out. You know, let him get better. That's what WWE's top priority should be. We're not going to worry about Bray Wyatt on WWE and him being injured, especially with Finn Balor and all this other shit going on. Let him get better. He'll be back to do something a little bit more important when he's 100%. WWE releases announcer Rich Brennan. Does anybody care about this? I mean, Rich Brennan was Rich Brennan. He was a solid addition, but, you know, I'm not going to fucking cry over WWE firing Rich Brennan. He wasn't everybody's favorite announcer. That's exactly what the fucking dirt sheet says. But he works in NXT. He worked in NXT. His backstage interviews were far from being poor in any way. Sometimes it's tough to keep someone around who doesn't do great work, and unfortunately, that's the decision the company had to make with Rich Brennan. According to WrestleZone.com and several other sources, it's confirmed that Brennan, real name Rich Bocchini, sounds like a fucking pasta that you'll find in aisle 4 of Stop and Shop, has been released by WWE today. As of this writing, there isn't anything specific that led to his release, but if it was for a more serious reason, we will be getting more details shortly. Bocchini had worked for Grande Valley Killer Bees Central Hockey League and the American Hockey League's Houston Aeros before getting involved with pro wrestling for the Reality of Wrestling promotion in Houston. Brennan made his debut in 2014 in NXT. He was partnered between Corey Graves and Alex Riley before Mauro Ranallo was signed and SmackDown moved to the USA Network. Brennan was actually the lead announcer, which he didn't do that bad of a job, to be honest with you. You know, I thought he was a great fill-in for whoever they had planned, and then they got Mauro Ranallo, and then obviously nobody even fucking holds a candle to Mauro Ranallo. WWE is overflowing with a lot of announcers, and the company may not have had a spot for Brennan, but he's sure to land on his feet based on his experience. WWE releases Rich Brennan. Is anybody going to miss Rich Brennan? Probably not, but it's always sad to see someone losing their job, especially if they were not doing anything wrong. So WWE releases Rich Brennan. Marty Jannetty. Marty Jannetty, look at this story. He was kicked out of several bars during WrestleMania weekend for inappropriate behavior. Just a few days ago, there was a report of several incidents that occurred during WrestleMania weekend. However, there is one more incident that has just come to light involving a familiar face. A few months ago, Marty Jannetty attacked Stephanie McMahon on social media and demonstrated some inappropriate behavior. It seems he continued that behavior going into WrestleMania weekend. According to reports from PW Insider and WrestleZone.com, there were a lot of talk by many people during WrestleMania weekend about Jannetty's behavior in Dallas. Apparently, Jannetty was reportedly kicked out of several bars during WrestleMania weekend due to his behavior, which raised the concerns of many people within WWE. Since the news of Jannetty's behavior has broken, the fans expressed great concern for the former WWE superstar on Facebook and other forms of social media. But one half of the former Rockers has yet to respond, Shawn Michaels. However, he did appear, and, well, Shawn Michaels didn't really say anything. I don't know if the report is assuming it's Shawn Michaels or Marty Jannetty. I don't know. Marty Jannetty hasn't said anything. Neither is Shawn Michaels. You could take it either way with that one. However, he did appear and wrestle at the Cauliflower Alley Club Casino Royale event on April 11th. He was scheduled for the April 16th Icons of Wrestling and Comic Book Collector Fest at the former ECW arena, but he did not show up. I don't know what's going on with Jannetty. I didn't even know he was going to be at WrestleMania weekend, to be honest with you. But apparently WrestleMania weekend, brings out everybody, young and old, from fucking years past and years present. But WWE, if there is anything going on with Jannetty, they need to inquire. Okay, we just had Chyna's passing. Something like this can happen on any given day. And if WWE cares about their former talent, they need to reach out to Jannetty. Someone in WWE needs to reach out to Jannetty. If he needs help, WWE needs to provide help. We don't need any more in WWE of the past and in the present having any types of, moments like this where they could just fucking be here one day and then leave us the next. If Jannetty needs help, if he really has a drug problem or an alcohol problem, they need to reach out to him and get him the help that he needs, because we don't need another fucking individual within the wrestling world to pass. We don't. And it sucks to see someone who, was a big part of WWE in the 80s and the early 90s, didn't get to the point where he wanted. He was always second best. I don't know what the mentality of these older wrestlers are that never achieved the fame that they thought that they should have or thought that they could have. Jannetty thought he could have been bigger than he was profiled in WWE. I don't know. Maybe he has some animosity towards WWE. Maybe he has regret. You don't know what these fucking guys are thinking. They need help. Get Jannetty help. If he has an alcohol or a drug problem, get him help before it's too late. And it's sad to report that he was kicked out of several bars and that he's been showing inappropriate behavior. The guy needs help. Do something to get him help, or something terrible is going to happen. That's all I can say about that. So hopefully Marty Jannetty, wisens up and he gets the help that he needs. Otherwise, it's going to be too late. And I'm going to be here reporting Marty Jannetty's fucking passing on Off the Script. Vince McMahon very determined to get Brock Lesnar versus The Rock to happen at WrestleMania 33. As of this writing, the next time Brock Lesnar will appear on WWE programming is a WWE live event in Hawaii in late June. But there isn't any confirmation on plans for him to be back on WWE television. He'll be back. The belief is that we'll be getting a feud between Brock Lesnar and Bray Wyatt around Summerslam in August. That'll cover this summer. But Vince McMahon is already thinking about WrestleMania in Orlando. According to a report from DWN, Vince has had a general discussion about early plans for next year's WrestleMania, and he's very determined to have Brock Lesnar versus The Rock as one of the main events. Brock versus Rock has been rumored since post-WrestleMania 29, but it's failed to become a reality. The boss's determination to make it happen this year is mainly contributed to the backlash of Ambrose versus Lesnar from this year. The report is claiming that Vince is feeling, after WrestleMania in Dallas, that Lesnar's time was wasted in a match with Dean Ambrose. It's unlikely that the criticism is on Dean Ambrose, but it's more about the money that is being paid to Lesnar, and the match got lost in the shuffle with subpar reviews. Well, listen, I don't blame Lesnar. I don't blame Dean Ambrose. I blame WWE. Vince McMahon should be blaming him fucking self. He should be blaming himself, man. WrestleMania 32's build was fucking terrible. WWE panicked with all the injuries. They could have gave us something that was much better than what we've been given, even with the injuries. We all know that. They know that. I know that. You know that. Okay? Vince McMahon needs to look himself in the mirror and blame himself for the subpar reviews for Ambrose versus Lesnar. I don't even know why they were fighting. I said this on Off the Script on PodBean and iTunes. And you can go back and listen to it if you listened to it already. Or if you're going to listen to it for the first time, you'll hear me say it. Everybody that's feuding with Dean Ambrose, I ask myself, why are you feuding with Dean Ambrose? Why is Dean Ambrose feuding with Wrestler B? Why is he feuding with Chris Jericho? I don't know. Because he made fun of his scarf? Because he made fun of his light-up jacket? He made fun of his shoes? He made fun of his age? That's a reason to feud with somebody? I mean, if you don't have any conflict with anybody, why are you feuding? I mean, Jericho walked out on Ambrose and Reigns in a six-man tag against the Wyatts at Night of Champions last year. Did WWE bring that up? Of course not. We're idiots. We don't remember what happened in September in 2015. We all do here. I'm sure you guys do. I seen it. I thought it was actually going to happen at WrestleMania. In fact, Ambrose should have fought Jericho at WrestleMania instead of fighting Lesnar. Ambrose, even though the feud with Lesnar made no sense, he just came out of a WWE Championship feud. He was feuding more with Triple H over the fact that he deserved the championship, and backing Roman Reigns and backing his friend Roman Reigns, fighting who Roman Reigns was going up against at WrestleMania instead of building towards a Brock Lesnar match. They put more effort into building Ambrose vs. Triple H than building Ambrose vs. Lesnar. That's WWE's fault. They tried to do two things at once, and they made one seem more important than the other. That's WWE's fault. As far as the subpar reviews, it's a death match, a Texas death match, no disqualification, no holds barred street fight. I mean, all we seen was steel chairs. We seen a chainsaw that wasn't revved. I mean, even the sound of a fucking chainsaw being revved up would have been somewhat of a fucking nice look, a nice sight at a no holds barred match. All we seen was steel chairs and kendo sticks. Yeah, real great street fight there, WWE. After reports came out following the match, a couple of days after it happened, that Ambrose went to WWE because he wanted to make the match memorable. He wanted to add color. He wanted Lesnar to do things to him that really invoked what a street fight is. He was willing to take punishment from Brock Lesnar just to make the match special. WWE declined every request that Ambrose threw at them. Why? You made the match subpar. After what we've been given, I don't know why they feuded. I don't even know why the match fucking took place to begin with. I mean, it was a match that was worthy of a SmackDown or a Monday Night Raw. Not a WrestleMania. No holds barred street fight. If you want a no holds barred match, go back and watch Brett versus Austin at WrestleMania in their submission match. That's what we need to see. That intensity. Neither Lesnar or Ambrose had that. What are you going to do with Brock versus The Rock? Are you going to make it personal? Are you going to bring up why The Rock feels animosity after losing the title at Summerslam to Lesnar? I mean, I hope so. That was the last time they fought. That was the last time they stared eye to eye in the ring when Lesnar went against The Rock. I believe it was the 2002 SummerSlam. You going to bring that up? Because I certainly would if this feud is being built. Why are they going to be feuding? Because they're two big names? No, you're not going to sell us on big names. Yeah, it's going to be exciting. Oh my God, The Rock versus The Rock is happening. The Rock versus Brock is happening, right? Give me a break. You're not going to sell it on big names. Yeah, it's WrestleMania, it's Brock, Rock. Why are they fighting? Is there a reason why these guys are in the ring? Please, you need to explain that to us. Every match Ambrose goes into, I ask myself, why? Why is he fighting? Why is he feuding with Jericho? Why is he feuding with Wyatt? Why? Every feud, I ask myself the same fucking question. Why? Hopefully we get a fucking answer, but WWE is looking forward to that. And finally, guys, WWE possibly bringing back Wargames for SummerSlam or Survivor Series. This is a long time coming, man. One of the most brutal, and this is up-to-date information, like as of today. One of the most brutal and iconic matches in wrestling history is Wargames, which pits 1, 2, or 3 teams against one another in a double ring covered by a huge cage. It's been almost 2 full decades since the last one happened in WCW, but fans have wanted it to come back, and it just hasn't happened. Well, rumors are going around that its return is now possible, and WWE has just added fuel to that fire. WWE brought back WCW in 2001, bought WCW in 2001, and many hoped that some of the gimmicks and ideas that worked over there would stay in place. Yeah, like I've been mentioning, Halloween Havoc, Starrcade, Wargames is one of them, Bash at the Beach. I mean, really, you own the rights to WCW. Do something with it. Instead of giving us gimmick pay-per-views that fucking mean shit, give us a Halloween Havoc. Give us a Starrcade. Give us a Bash at the Beach. Change it up. Add some spice to the pay-per-view schedule. I was one of those people. One of those things was Wargames, but it still never came to be as WWE does already have Hell in a Cell, which they need to get rid of as a pay-per-view, and occasionally will bring back the Elimination Chamber. DWN reported the other day that there is talk from WWE officials that Wargames could return later this year at a big event like SummerSlam or Survivor Series. There's been no official word on that, but it's still early right now, and there have not been any talks. Even though there has been no word from WWE as far as a confirmation or even public whispers of Wargames returning, they are dropping some interesting hints. WWE Network News is reporting that there are 2 new collections being added to the network very soon. One of those collections is called Becoming The Rock and focuses on Dwayne Johnson morphing into character of The Rock. The other one is what a lot of fans will be happy about, and it's the Wargames collection. Over the years, Wargames cemented its legacy as one of the most notorious, unpredictable, and innovative matches of all times. 2 teams, 2 rings, and 1 punishing steel cage to contain all the action. This collection gathers every televised Wargames match in one place and features iconic WWE superstars like Sting, Flair, Rhodes, the NWO, the Road Warriors, and many more. Yes, the majority of the Wargames matches are already available on the WWE Network, but this is going to put them all in one place. Now they'll be easily accessible and simple to find when a fan wants to watch them. As for this year's SummerSlam, SummerSlam is being held at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, and there really isn't enough room there for a double ring and cage. The location for Survivor Series has not yet been determined, so that is still a possibility. There is another possibility for Wargames and the groundwork that could be laid at Payback on Sunday. At the pay-per-view, Vince McMahon is planning on making a big announcement regarding the control of Monday Night Raw, and who has it? It will either be Shane McMahon or Stephanie McMahon, aka The Authority with Triple H. And that is where things get really interesting. Rumor has it that this could lead to WWE having a brand split, which I reported on yesterday, returning with Shane in charge of Raw or SmackDown while Stephanie would control the other show. If this is the case, it could end up with some type of brand warfare and one show wanting to battle the other. Well, WWE is set to hold Battleground at the Verizon Center in Washington, D.C. on July 24th. Not only is the Verizon Center's wrestling setup big enough for the double ring and cage, but the name of the pay-per-view just fits in perfectly. Vince McMahon could make this decision on Sunday, split things up as reported by Forbes, and then cause even more animosity between his kids. There would be 2 more pay-per-views, and then Raw could battle SmackDown at Battleground near the end of July. This would even likely be enough time for injured stars such as John Cena, Seth Rollins, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, and others to return. If Wargames is to return, it would have to be at one of the bigger pay-per-view events in the year, or maybe its own special WWE network on the network. The thing is that WWE would need to have it in place that is big enough to hold 2 rings side by side, and that might not be possible this year. Still, they could always add in a special event, and it surely would sell out and be something that draws a lot of viewers to the network. Now the rumors just have to come true, and fans will rejoice. I don't know what's going on here. I mean, WWE could have Wargames mean something if there's enough storyline to back up why it's happening. And I'm going to go back to what I talked about a few days ago, pitting the Shield versus the Bullet Club. WWE really needs to make it special if it's going to happen. I don't want to see a brand warfare. I don't want it. I mean, that's lame to me. I don't want to see SmackDown versus Raw. I don't want to see any type of a brand split. I think a brand split right now, as with everything that's being discussed, is the wrong idea. As far as a prediction as to what Vince McMahon is going to do at Payback, I think he's going to give both his children control of Monday Night Raw. From there, it will then lead to animosity to the point where Vince McMahon has to step in as the father, as the CEO, and say, you know what, fuck this shit. I'm going to give Shane Raw, and I'm going to give Triple H and Stephanie SmackDown, and that's what's going to happen. That will probably lead to a brand split later in the year, if that's the direction WWE wants to go. As far as Wargames, WWE has enough fuel here. WWE has enough talent, and they have the storyline with Balor coming in and forming the Balor Club. Okay? WWE has enough fuel and enough talent to reform the Shield. Rollins is expected to be in Chicago. Whether he's going to be on the show, I don't know. He can be there and back Roman Reigns. He can back Roman Reigns. Ambrose can back Roman Reigns. And we can have an all-out warfare. We can have the show end with the Balor Club staring down the Shield. You know, if you want to add another member of the Balor Club, I don't know. I don't know what WWE's got planned. All I know is Wargames, Shield versus the Balor Club. Or the Bullet Club, whatever the fuck they're going by. That was my original concept, is the Shield versus the Bullet Club. I mentioned this. Now that there's an introduction for Wargames and a rumor going around for Wargames at SummerSlam or Survivor Series, I think Survivor Series would be the best bet. I think Survivor Series, being that WWE does not give a shit about the Survivor Series concept anymore, you know, this could be the new Survivor Series. Have it happen once a year. Have it happen once a year. WWE clearly doesn't want the 4-on-4, 5-on-5 matches. They haven't given a shit about that concept in fucking years. That is what made Survivor Series. Maybe the times have changed. Maybe they want to get rid of that. The Survivor Series name still holds credibility. So put Wargames in Survivor Series. This Bullet Club, Balor Club, Shield thing obviously has the fuel to last all the way up until November. Do it. Make it happen. Whether you want Balor to form the Balor Club with Styles and then turn after everything implodes. Maybe the Shield recruits somebody else as a fourth guy. WWE can do that. Styles, Balor, Anderson, Gallows. There. 4. Reigns, Ambrose, Rollins. And you can build with the intrigue, not only of what's happening with the storyline, but the intrigue of who are they going to get as the fourth member. You know, it could be anybody. You could put a young guy in there, give him some credibility and some momentum. The next guy that WWE wants to make a superstar. Maybe they bring in Nakamura. Maybe they bring in Joe. I don't know. It could be anybody. You got so much potential here that really should be what WWE builds this Wargames concept around. The Balor Club coming in to take over WWE. You know? The Hounds of Justice. WWE, you know, reforms the Shield and they bring them back with the same motto that they were built upon. Bringing justice back to the WWE. And then you can do whatever the fuck you want with all three guys. You know, Reigns, Ambrose, Rollins, they can feud over the WWE title. Whatever the case may be. But that's what I think is the best idea for this Wargames. Survivor Series, SummerSlam. I don't see it happening at SummerSlam. Survivor Series is, my opinion, the best of the two. It's too big to be a network special. It should really be its own pay-per-view. But I don't see WWE getting rid of Survivor Series. Wargames needs to be at Survivor Series. Wargames needs to be Balor Club versus The Shield. That's going to bring in audience. That's going to bring in ratings. That's going to bring in fucking viewers. That's what's going to build intrigue. You know? WWE has the fucking talent to have a stable take over WWE in a way that we haven't seen since the NWO. Do what they did in New Japan. Build off what they did there. Utilize some of the same ideas. You got the Shield coming in, reforming. You know, it might not make sense really if you look at it at first glance, but that's what they're there for. That's what they were there for. Get the band back together and then break them up. You know, they're all aligning for a greater purpose for the time being. They might not like each other. They may have gone all in separate different directions, but get them together for a few months and have them take down the fucking Balor Club, because nobody else can. And show us how devastating the Balor Club can be. Have them do things that really shows the audience that this group is in control of WWE. I think it's right. I don't want to see fucking brand warfare, man. We've seen that with bragging rights. It was fucking awful. It was cheesy. SmackDown versus Raw. I mean, give me a fucking break, man. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that. Seriously, that's not the way a brand split works. You're going to have revolving guys going back and forth from each brand. You might have one or two exclusive guys on a brand so that it brings notoriety to that brand and to that fucking network. Same thing with Raw. All the champions got to be revolving. You're not going to have champions on one show and they're not going to appear on another show. This is a complete fucking mess. That would be a complete mess. Wargames, Shield, Balor Club. That's my opinion on that. Where it's happening at Survivor Series. That's what I think is the best idea. That's off the script, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you're thinking about all this, man. We got Bayley's injury, just an angle, Wargames, Jannetty, Adam Rose, Bray Wyatt out, WWE firing Rich Brennan, McMahon wanting Brock versus The Rock. Or like I said earlier, I think it was The Rock versus The Rock. Yeah, imagine that happening. But let me know what you guys are thinking on Off the Script. This is part 3. Sorry for it being up late, but listen, I got the podcast up on iTunes. That was more important to me at the time I got out of work yesterday. So let me know what you guys are thinking. If you missed any videos, check them out in the annotation or link down below. I'll see you guys later for Payback. Follow me on Twitter. I'll be tweeting all during the pay-per-view. We'll see what happens, man. It's going to be an interesting night. A lot of newsworthy moments that are going to be happening tonight. So it's going to be interesting to see, man. But that is Off the Script. Hit that thumbs up if you did enjoy. And I'll be back tonight with more Payback talk as the review goes up live on my channel. If I hear anything else during the day, if anything else breaks during the day, I'll be right back here filling you guys in, all right? I'm JD. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that thumbs up, and I'll see you guys later tonight for WWE Payback 2016.